So, How to Train Your Dragon, the 2025 version, not the
remake,
reimagining, I guess. This time, our boy Jay Baruchel out the picture, dead to rights. I went into this movie a little bit skeptical, I will say, mostly because I have talked about previously on this podcast. I absolutely adore the original film. I think that is
classic.
One of the best animated movies of the 21st century, frankly. Like, I think that movie is almost, it feels weird to call it underrated, movie that has now sparked a whole world at a new theme park in our own Orlando, Florida. But I feel like it's underappreciated for how amazing and how magical
a theme park you have been to.
Yes.
I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast.
I don't think we have either, but I can kind of sum that into How to Train Your Dragon, because I will say, after seeing this new film from Dean DeBlois, one of the co-directors of the original animated film, there's a cynical part of my brain that wants to say this is a movie that is made to sell tickets to a new theme park in Universal Studios Orlando. And that part is like very much right. Like, down to I was talking about with friend of the pod Adam afterwards, but the color palette that they go for, this whole like muted but overly saturated colors that they're having on the ships and on some of the flags and things like that the Vikings have, is so dead on to the Isle of Burke that is realized at the new Epic Universe Park. So that is true, that cynical side of me, that this is used for selling tickets, and that's kind of the only reason why it exists. But on the flip side, this movie still works, man. Like, it is recreating, and it's derivative. Yes, did it need to be made? Not entirely. But I think that there is enough in this movie to justify its existence. Mainly in, if I'm going to talk about just the live action part and not the story itself, it's at the core, because beat for beat, it's almost exactly the same. Some of the CG work that is in here is like some of the best stuff that I've ever seen. It is,
you buy it,
incredible. It is, the whole world is fully realized. I would love to know how much is actually shot on, I want to say on location in air quotes, because I don't think that they're going to like Norway to film these, but just I'm curious how much of it is shot in the real world versus how much of it is created via computers, because it looks so real, man. Toothless looks phenomenal. It really looks incredible. And all the dragons look really good. A lot of the landscape shots, there's only a couple times on there where it has a little bit of, I'll call it Daenerys riding the dragons syndrome, where it's just like very much a person who's like sitting on a saddle with a green screen behind them. There's only like a couple of shots in the entire movie that look like that. Otherwise, I mean, you've seen the original film. You know how many like shots are just like burned in your head of not just like the reaching out your hand and Toothless touching it, but them going through the clouds together, or like kind of traversing through these pillars of rock and boulder and everything like that.
I mean, that first flight sequence is iconic. Yeah.
And all of that stuff is really beautifully recaptured in this way. Now, it's a live action remake, so it has the same thing that literally every one of these live action remakes have, where they are needlessly 20 minutes longer than the original for not really any other purpose than to like either say it's not the same exact movie, or to like, I don't know, try to justify why you paid however much money you paid to Gerard Butler to come back as the king.
I mean, they need to say the movie is over 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
That has to have some kind of shareholder value to it.
I'm sure that like there is some kind of like quantifiable reason why it happens. And just like with every other time, whenever we're talking about whether it's like the good version of the live action remakes with something like going back to like one of the originals, but like the Jungle Book one, or like the worst live action remakes,
Lion King.
Yeah.
Is that the opposite extreme?
Kind of. And I think that they came out only within a couple of years of each other. It was like, hey, Jungle Book was a good reimagining. And then Lion King came out and we were like, what have we done? Might be going through the same thing right now with Lilo and Stitch.
Did you see that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
Hey, by the way, apparently they did shoot this on location.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They shot scenes in Northern Ireland, which is where they shot a bunch of the studio stuff. Apparently, there's a studio in Northern Ireland. Also, Iceland.
Yeah. So, actually, okay. So we got some Vikingness.
And a place that I am now seeing will probably be the location of many diehard fans tourism, a place called Faroe Islands. Faroe, Faroe, which is a tiny cluster of islands between Iceland and Northern Ireland. It belongs to Denmark. And I know the ownership of Denmark itself is in question. On this day of friendship.
Has Trump annexed them yet, or is that
Faroe?
Yeah,
perhaps.
Has he annexed?
But
Faroe?
if you just look up Faroe Islands and you just look up pictures from there, it's like, oh yeah, they this is going to be a site of increased tourism traffic.
Wow, this place looks gorgeous. Oh my god. No, I will say, like, that all comes through on the screen. It doesn't feel like you are just like watching a computer generated version. Hell, it doesn't even look like The Hobbit. Remember, like, the first time ever you're going from like the Lord of the Rings that feels so real, so well realized, and then you go to watching a Hobbit movies and it's like I'm watching a video game right now. This doesn't feel like that. Everything does feel very genuine, and that comes through. I think that is like so key to the story, because there is such a beautiful emotional through line to this movie. And spoilers for How to Train Your Dragon, for the original film that came out 15 years ago. But especially with the way that the movie ends and how it kind of recontextualizes what you've seen, is this isn't just a movie about like compassion and like endless war and bloodshed, but it's also like a movie about disability and about how how we can kind of overcome that and not just like be the same version, but we can be better than our old selves. To tie this into my experience at Epic Universe, that was one of the coolest things that I saw. I had the opportunity to go to an early access before the mass crowds went in. One of the coolest moments that I had at Isle of Burke was seeing multiple different people who were like in wheelchairs, like going around the Isle of Burke land and just kind of like looking up to the dragons, and especially seeing like Toothless and seeing the actor Hiccup out there and everything like that. That was, you could see how important of a story it was for them. And that was like almost tear inducing itself.
Love it.
Love it. So it's a good movie.
I recommend it even if you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah. I think that if you like the original How to Train Your Dragon, then you will at least like this one. Now, again, is it like setting the world on fire? Is it revolutionary? No. But because it's the same movie that already exists, but it's still it's very much worth your time if you are into the original. It's, if nothing else, it's like a good family summer blockbuster movie. Take the kids to have a nice time.
Let's do a little summer movie wager check-in here. Because I think, were you the most bullish on this movie?
I was wrong. I was the only person who did not have Lilo and Stitch at number one.
You put this?
Yeah, I put this at number one.
Oh, Stitch.
That's so that sucks. I do think that this movie is going to make a boatload of money, especially internationally. So I stand by it. Like this, I still think this movie is going to be very, very successful. Universal is about to push the ever living hell out of this movie. But also Lilo and Stitch can't be stopped. And I one other note that I want to say, since coming back to Lilo and Stitch, I feel kind of conflicted even with this movie that I enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon being good, because I know that if this is successful, then that just means that we're just going to keep getting more of these. We're just going to like
the rehashes.
We're going to get live action Shrek. It's going to be like Shrek the musical. He's going to be out here. It's going to be played by Bad Bunny. And we have to just embrace that. That's the world that we live in now. That's the hell that we live in.
Yeah. So I got the wager pulled up. Shout out to thesummermoviewager.com. Yeah. It's 4 of us doing the contest this year, and 3 out of 4 put Lilo and Stitch number 1, except for you, who put Dragon. Adam and I both had it at 4, and Colin has it down at 7. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, we're getting into June. We have Mission under our belts. Ballerina comes out this week. Final Destination, I think, is one that I feel really stupid for not having more faith in. Like, I feel really dumb for not seeing.
Yeah, I put
coming.
that as a dark horse, but I should have just kind of stuck with my guns, because like that, people care more about Final Destination than they do about like 28 years later. That might have just been wishful thinking for 28 years later on my part.
Yeah, I have 28 years as a dark horse, but that could be one of those that might sneak in.
I think I'm kind of surprised for all of us. Oh no, I forgot. The other movie that I went out on a limb on is I have Smurfs is going to be a top 10 grosser at the box office this year.
No,
I don't know if you know this, but Rihanna is in Smurfs.
I just think that we need to accept that the movie theater box office right now is feast or famine. Like, that is just how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. You're going to have these major hits, these major blowouts, like we saw with Inside Out 2 last year, which we're kind of seeing with Lilo and Stitch right now. I don't know if we can call that a blowout to the same extent that Inside Out 2 was, but it is making a lot of money. And then if you're not there, there's not a lot of room for these mid-level hits.
I mean, there is, but usually there has to be some kind of a draw to them. They can't, like a horror movie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Final Destination Bloodlines can't exist in this world. Last year we were able to get a Long Legs to kind of be the surprise hit. Usually those end up being horror movies, because those are the things that are going to get people out. Like, I'm sorry, The Materialists, I hope you're good. I don't know if that movie's cracking like $15 million at the box office. Like, I don't know what the fate of that is. John Wick Ballerina, I'm kind of fascinated to see what
apparently it's
does.
good.
Yeah. A reshoot be damned. Or maybe the reshoot saved the movie. My thing is with Smurfs, if I don't know what the betting odds are that are currently out there, I think Smurfs is going to make more money than Elio at the box office.
Whoa, that's a cool bet.
I don't know like what those odds would be right now.
Dude, where is the Elio marketing team?
I don't know. Have you seen anything?
I'm so upset about this.
Oh yeah, because you drafted this.
Yeah, I fucking did. It looks like a fucking DoorDash commercial.
I don't know what's happening to Elio. Why haven't I seen a trailer for it before any movies?
Not a single
that's crazy.
Trailer.
Well, I know they played the trailer before. I think they're playing
for all the baby
How
movies.
to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, they played it before. Maybe they played it before Minecraft.
I didn't see Minecraft.
Here's what's happening, guys. There's a good chance you're seeing it, especially on TV or YouTube or wherever you get normal ads. They do these like quick hit ads for Elio. At no point in the ad do you get a premise at all. It's not even
just Elio.
Yeah, it's not even trying to sell you a movie. And that used to be so baked into what Pixar did.
That's
it's like
really funny.
In 2 seconds, you'd be like, okay, rat who cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like, fish get lost. You'd be like,
I know what the thing is.
Robot love. Yeah. This is just like like sounds and images.
You know what?
There's fucking nothing.
You know what? Because that isn't. I have seen one piece of like marketing for it that was basically like, hey, if you like Lilo and Stitch about alien come to Earth and make human friend, what if I told you there's a movie coming out where human go to space and make alien friend? So isn't that something that'll be good too? You like that?
I have no faith in it. I hate the character design with a passion.
Yeah,
it's so ugly.
Because I think that like there's a way to even take that stylization and make it just like tone it just a little bit and make it so much better. Like I'm thinking about something like Turning Red. On its surface, the Turning Red animation style, I was not into like from afar. And then I saw Turning Red and I was like, oh, well, one, this is a beautiful movie and a banger. One of the best things that Pixar has put out in years. But also it's not quite as, for lack of a better term, like kiddish. It looks like Steven Universe.
It looks like 3D Steven Universe.
Yeah.
It's these super round features on every face that are much easier to render, I'm sure, especially when they all
a lot cheaper.
When they all look just like that. Super round features, eyes really close together. Every other feature except for their mouth is tiny and their eyes. Like it sucks, dude. It is so unimaginative. It's I think it gets a lot of flack already, and so there's almost been like, it's almost cool to be like, well, guess what, these aren't for us anymore. It's like, yeah, but you could still look good. You know what I mean? Even if it's not, I'm not the target demo for it. Like, I can just base glance at something and tell if it's quality or not, and it just looks bad. I hope the movie's good. I drafted it on the Pixar legacy alone, and that seems to be a mistake.
I don't know if even Disney has faith in the Pixar legacy on this one. We
have to do a French podcast.
Well, this might help my case about Smurfs making more money than Elio. Did you guys know that Rihanna is Smurfette?
No.
Did you know that John Goodman is Papa Smurf?
Oh my God.
Did you know that Kurt Russell is Ron?
Yes, I knew that one.
Did you know Marshmello is in the cast?
Oh, the DJ? Yeah, the guy famously known for his voice.
What is
the marshmallow head guy. Jesus
That's cool.
Christ.
Oh, we live in hell. How Trainer